Welcome to the 60 Plus Podcast.
I'm Janet.
And I'm Joe. How are you today, Janet?
I'm great. It's Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, Janet.
Happy Valentine's Day, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope love is in the air for you.
I almost started singing.
Oh, go
No,
ahead.
not going to do it.
That's you're stealing my show.
What are we going to talk about today, Janet?
Well, it's interesting because we've been kind of talking about relationships, right, this last couple of times in lieu of Valentine's Day. And we thought it was just going to be a two-part series, but then I thought maybe we should have a three-part series on this because the first one was about being single after 60, finding love again. And then the second part, we had Sheila and Pete on talking about their 33-year-old marriage and, still being married and in love. And so today, what I wanted to do was focus on self-love.
What do you mean by self-love?
So, how do we take care of ourselves? How do we love ourselves? And it's an interesting statistic I was reading about how self-esteem steadily declines after the age of 60. And so I think for our age group that this may actually be a practical challenge for us, right? So we have to find ways to feel good about ourselves.
Well, I think that's the 60 plus age group that doesn't listen to the 60 plus podcast.
Right, because listening to a podcast is one of the number one things you can do.
Well, listening to the 60
self-care.
plus podcast.
Exactly. My thoughts. So really what this podcast is going to be, this episode is going to be about focusing on self and self-love.
And not selfish, just self.
No. I did come across this article, CBT Psychology, which stands for Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. And it was just an article about loving yourself after age 60. And it had a bunch of, thoughts about that. So I thought maybe we'd just kind of kick that around. See, what do you think?
Okay, sounds good to me.
The first thing that they said is stay socially connected. And we've talked about this before, how important friendship is. And one of the things that they mention is that staying connected generates oxytocin, which is a hormone that makes
That's one of the good ones, right?
That's a good one. Yeah, not Oxycontin. No, we're not talking about that.
No, we're not talking about that.
No. So overall, Valentine's Day can be a celebration of your friends.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually came across a different article. We actually do a little bit of preparation before we
I know,
start
we do,
recording.
guys.
And this is from the National Institute of Mental Health. And staying connected is one of the things that they recommend as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's reach out to your friends or family members who can provide emotional support and practical help.
And also there's that whole thing about Galentine's Day. That's February 13th.
Okay, I had never heard of Galentine's Day. Even though I was a Parks and Rec fan,
Really?
I'd never heard of Galentine's Day until we were doing our show prep.
Yeah, one of my friends, I had never heard about it too, but it was a couple of years ago. One of my friends brought it up and we had like a Galentine's party and it was fun, because actually, if you think about our age group, we had come across this statistic a couple of weeks ago. I had a tough time saying statistic.
I had a job one time
Shush.
where I had to say very frequently, statistically significant.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's a
tough one.
Go ahead,
Say
try.
that.
Yeah.
Statistically significant.
Oh, you did very well.
Thank you.
Seashells, she sells. I don't know.
By the seashore. So one of the stats was that after the age of after 65, 21% of men are single. 49% of women are single.
That comes
right?
from the Pew Research Center.
Yeah. And so maybe this whole idea of Galentine's Day is focused on women, and maybe that's the practical reason for it. But the other statistic that I thought was
What
interesting.
did you do on Galentine's Day when you celebrated? What
Oh, I think we just drank a lot of wine and it was silly. And I don't
Did
know.
your
we
nails
played,
and-
we did a thing where you wrote what you admired about people and we put it in a pile and we read them or something. I don't know.
I came across an article on goodrx.com,
Mm-hmm.
and Actually, naming 5 positive attributes of someone else was one of the things that they
Oh,
said.
so that's what we
That's
did.
what you did.
Yeah, see, we intuitively knew what to do. But 98% of women have a best friend. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So I
What
don't
about
know.
well, what about men? The
I
men
don't know. What do you think? Do you
I'd
think it's more or less?
well, it'd be hard to be more.
Yeah.
I would say probably less.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't get together on Galentine's Day and do our nails and write
Nobody
things
said
on.
anything about doing nails, Joe.
Well, can I just
You're,
imagine? Was there a pillow
you're
fight?
doing gender stereotypes right there. We were in our pajamas. No. Best playing records. So staying connected, right? And that getting that warm, fuzzy feeling of love through friendship. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with friendship.
No.
Nothing. No,
No,
friendship
we
is a
like
good thing.
friendship. Friendship's good.
It is.
Yeah. So love is everywhere and it comes in many forms. Number 2 was learn a new skill. So
Ah,
when you're capable of learning new things and you feel a sense of accomplishment and it spurs your curiosity and engages you in something new, and that helps to raise your self-esteem.
well, I mean, I think that a lot of times, what's the expression? Idle hands are the devil's work, or something like that.
Idle hands, idle minds.
Yeah, if you're engaging your mind in something
Yeah.
else, it's positive. It's a positive thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I love doing this. I mean, I'm always trying to learn new things and I think it's fun.
We're still learning how to do a podcast.
Yeah, that was new for us this year. But I took archery lessons this year. I learned how
you?
to shoot a bow and arrow
I didn't know that.
just in time for Cupid.
How did you do?
I did well. I got my first pin. And for those of people who have shot a bow and arrow, they might know what the significance of that is.
What is the significance of it?
So
You forget, don't you?
let me remember. So it was, oh gosh, it was a pin shoot. It's called a pin shoot.
Huh?
And you have to get a certain score, meaning you have to get close to the
Is this like a
bullseye.
yellow belt in karate where like you show up for 3 lessons and you get
Yeah,
one?
you have to get no, you have to get a certain score and then you get
Okay.
your first pin. So I got my first pin.
Okay, you were pinned.
I was pinned.
It's like high school.
It was very
In the 50s.
exciting. But I don't know, to me it was very empowering too. Because
Really?
it's like, yeah,
What were you shooting at?
a target.
Okay.
I was going for the bullseye, Joe.
Okay. Did you hit it?
I got close. I got close.
I don't think close
Really
counts.
close.
I don't think close
But it was
counts.
quite a distance too, because we start, whether it's close, pretty close up, but then I think it was like, I'm gonna say 100 feet maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, it was fun. That was different and new. And, I like doing that kind of stuff. It does make you feel new.
Makes you feel new.
Yeah,
Okay.
brand new.
Okay.
So that was a tip, I think. Here's my favorite. Challenge negative self-talk and practice self-compassion.
All right. So that's kind of hard for some people to do, right?
It's hard for a lot of people.
Who's your biggest critic?
Everybody's their own biggest
Mhm.
critic, right?
I wasn't saying you in particular. I was
Yeah,
the royal you.
right. So I'll never forget hearing this, and I've repeated this many times to people. It's this sort of visualization that if the voice in your head, that critical voice in your head, if that was your roommate and you were sitting on a couch with you, what would you do? And what would you say to that roommate?
I'll cover the rent on my own. You're out of here.
Yeah, see ya. Like tell my daughter this, be your own best friend, be your own best mother, whatever. Make sure that that voice is supportive and loving and caring. Don't beat yourself up.
To a degree. Sometimes you need a little kick in the pants too.
Well, yeah, but you don't be like, oh my God, you're so stupid.
Is that the voice you hear in your head?
Yeah, my voice talks like this. It's really
I forgot
tough.
you're from New Jersey.
Yeah, my voice is from New Jersey. No, but there was this video that we saw, right? It was Dr. Kirsten Neff. And I guess she has a lot of, because she's from this cognitive behavioral therapy psychologist. And she was saying, think about it like if you had a friend who was in trouble, you would practice compassion, right? You would notice that they were suffering. You would respond with kindness and care, And yet you would remember that, suffering is part of the human experience. And you might remind them that you're going to get through this, blah, blah, blah. You're strong. You can handle this. So you want to say those same things to yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Out loud.
Well, you could if you need to. Some people say, go look in the mirror and go, you are awesome.
Who was who was that character on Saturday Night Live?
Stuart Smalley.
Stuart Smalley.
Because gosh darn it,
You're
you're
good
good
enough.
enough and people like you. So, what do you think?
I mean, this is all kind of thinking positive thoughts,
Right.
trying to stay on the right track. Don't go down the rabbit hole of
Yeah.
I'm not good enough.
I'm not worthy.
not worthy. One of the things that I came with from the Good RX article that I saw,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a way that I think a lot of people do go down that bad rabbit hole. Take a break from social media.
Yeah, because you're comparing yourself to others.
Either you're comparing yourself to others who are probably lying about their lives,
Right.
or they're saying something negative and it's bringing you down. I mean, there's not really a lot of good
Yeah.
stuff on social media. I call it anti-social media sometimes.
Yeah.
Can I come up with another activity for self-care?
Yes, please.
One that will ring true to faithful 60 plus podcast listeners. Take a yoga class.
Take a yoga class. It's great. Well, they say move, right? Like move. That's always going to make you feel better. Again, getting those endorphins. Yoga is so good for so many things. And we know that now, right?
We do.
Thanks to Ashley.
Yes.
Yeah. And then another one that I came across was practice gratitude. I also like this one.
My daughters do this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fully understand it.
Okay. So here's the thing. If you just think about things that you're grateful for, I don't care how insignificant it seems, you cannot have negative thoughts while you're practicing gratitude. It's impossible.
All right. So I have gratitude that I have milk in the refrigerator.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, I've got milk in the refrigerator. That's great. I can put it on
Oh.
my cereal tomorrow morning. Woohoo!
I just remembered I forgot to buy milk.
Well, you can think about your family that you're grateful for, your health, hopefully, if you're feeling healthy, things like that. Or just like this morning, I woke up and I opened up the curtains and it was this beautiful pink sky and it was reflecting off of the marsh grasses. There's a little bit of a frost.
Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful. I just like stood there and looked at it, and
You do live in an especially
well,
picturesque,
I am
beautiful
lucky, and I'm
location.
very grateful
Yeah,
for that.
Do you practice gratitude
I
about where you live?
do, and that was the first thing that was my first thought this morning. And it could be a very simple thing. It could be a pet. It could be your cup of coffee in the morning. Yeah, I'm so grateful.
I'm grateful for my coffee in the morning.
And do you know that sometimes I put my half and half, I make a little heart on it?
Do you?
Yeah. Or a little smiley face, or
You put a J in the heart?
sometimes, it's like however I'm feeling, it's a little indulging moment.
Okay. All right.
Self-love.
Okay. The little heart in the coffee. That's an interesting one. Okay. So practicing latte art is one of
Yes.
Janet's.
And I do make hearts for other people too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Who are you making coffee for, Janet?
Well, that is a personal question, isn't it, Joe?
I'm joking.
I do not kiss and tell.
Are we moving on from self-gratitude yet?
Yes, let's move.
And I told you before when we were doing show prep that I actually did this recently, and it had a surprisingly positive impact on my day.
Oh God, here we go.
Organize a drawer or a room in your house.
Oh my God, these are like Excel spreadsheets. Joe likes Excel spreadsheets.
I do like Excel spreadsheets.
Organizing drawers and having milk in his refrigerator.
I'm a very simple person, Janet. No, I organized a drawer in a buffet in my dining room that
Mhm.
had been bugging me for months.
Wow.
It really had.
Wow.
And you know what it made me do?
Open the drawer more?
No, it made me organize a cabinet in my bathroom.
It's contagious.
It really made every time I open that cabinet, my
Okay,
mood
yeah,
improves just a little bit.
And you know what? This is the whole point of this. It's like whatever it is that, jazzes you up and makes you feel happy and positive, figure out what it is and do it. You can come over and organize my drawers too.
No, it doesn't work that way. You got to
Okay.
do it yourself.
All right. Okay.
Speaking of jazz,
Mm.
there's a lot of about music, listening to music,
Oh yeah,
creating a
music
playlist.
makes such the world of
I
difference.
saw some live music last night
Hmm.
at a favorite music venue of mine, and I came out of there in such a good mood.
Oh yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
really, I mean, I wasn't in a bad mood going in,
Right.
but I came out and I felt like
Right.
a little buzzed.
Yeah. When I'm home and I turn on some music, I get dancing a little bit, and automatically completely changes and brightens your mood.
Have I told you when I dance?
When you're cooking,
When I'm
which is
cooking,
why I'm not
yes.
going to eat at your house.
I
No,
do
I'm
dance when I
kidding.
cook
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too. Especially if I've had a glass of wine.
on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those hips get moving.
I said something about Parks and Rec in reference to Valentine's Day, and never really tied it back to why I mentioned Parks and Rec. Parks and Recreation, the TV
The
show,
show, yeah.
they invented Valentine's Day.
I know. That's what I was just reading, right?
Yeah,
Or
it's
you were
kind.
reading it. One of us
I
was
think it was
reading it.
from Wikipedia.
Yeah. Well, and we can
I
all trust that source.
well, I don't think they're lying about Valentine's Day,
No, but
but
it took hold, didn't it?
yeah, it's kind of like Festivus was created by Seinfeld.
Oh, what is?
Festivus, you don't know about Festivus?
No, I
I
do
got a lot
not
of
know
problems with you people. You don't know Festivus?
No, I forget.
Oh, Festivus.
I'm gonna have to watch Seinfeld again.
George's father was trying to find a toy at Christmas time, and it was a very popular toy that year. And somebody grabbed the last one off the shelf ahead of him, and it became this thing where there was the airing of grievances on Festivus. People that know Seinfeld know it well.
Okay.
There's an aluminum pole instead of a Christmas tree. It's very funny. And
I take your word for it.
okay,
So
I'm grateful for
I'm
Seinfeld.
moving on to
I'm,
the next.
I'm grateful for Seinfeld.
There you go. See? Milk and Seinfeld.
Milk and Seinfeld.
So the next one is indulge yourself. Again, another favorite one of mine. Indulge yourself.
Is that dark chocolate sitting in front of you, Janet?
I indulge myself every day. Buy yourself a gift. Listen to music.
Mm-hmm. Music.
Shower and bathe and crystals. Crystals. Whatever those things are called. Bubbles.
I mean bath salts or
Whatever.
okay.
You know what I'm talking
I
about.
really don't. I shower with Safeguard soap.
Yeah. Do you know what I do? I buy myself flowers. I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand. I
Right.
can love my.
Special guest Miley Cyrus here on the 60 Plus podcast. Now Janet has
I
sung
can
now.
take myself dancing.
I don't even know this song.
She just won a Grammy.
Okay.
Her first.
I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I'm grateful to Miley Cyrus. I think that message on that song is great. So anyway,
Okay.
yes, indulge yourself. Again, don't deny yourself. Don't let that little voice in your head go, you don't need to do that. That's indulgent. Yes, do it. Take
Like-
time for yourself.
Like what? Like buying yourself flowers.
Whatever it is. Whatever it is. Again, it could be personal, organizing a draw. That might be indulging to you. That's okay. Nobody's judging,
Hmm.
right? And nobody's looking. So do what makes you happy.
Yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
think. Well,
Have a spa day.
a spa day.
Massage.
Again, I've never had a professional massage.
Love
I have a
it.
friend that's trying to convince me though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
In
don't know.
addition to me.
In addition to you, another
Yeah.
friend. Actually, two other friends.
Yeah.
Both listeners.
Yep.
Here's a silly one. And I've actually done this without knowing years ago. It was a very stressful time. I was in graduate school. A friend of mine lived down the street. It was exam time. It was extremely stressful and it needed something to kind of break the stress.
Mhm.
And this is on the Good RX list of things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Blow bubbles.
Whoa, bubbles.
not
Like with
even-
bubble gum?
No. Like soap bubbles.
Oh.
And, the
Well, in the bathtub.
well, I'll tell you, it worked like a charm.
Really?
It was silly enough. It was very childlike and
Mhm.
almost as good as organizing a drawer, but not quite.
Right.
Somewhere between building a really good Excel spreadsheet
Oh, God.
and
So-
organizing a drawer.
But you mentioned child, and it's that inner child, right? Gosh, I don't want to get too deep here, but that inner child could still be wounded. That's like childhood trauma and all this stuff that leads to, negative thoughts and behaviors. And, um, you want to take care of that child. So, yeah, maybe going back to what made you happy as a kid. It's not too late. Do it again. Go roller
To
skating.
go roller skating. I'm not kidding. Blowing bubbles was it got us through that exam.
I believe it.
It
I
really did.
believe it.
Yep.
Right?
It sounds silly. I'm coming up with all the silly
Silly
things.
is good. I
Uh,
like silly.
some other good things. Get outside.
Yeah,
Get it.
we've talked about this before,
Get
right?
away from the screens.
Moving your body, seeing the world, going someplace new, feeding that curiosity. That's all good.
Hmm.
And when all else fails, seek professional help. No. Well, no, they do say that. I mean, it's like you're really struggling, clearly.
Oh, of course.
But you know what's interesting is they also said listen to an inspirational podcast.
I know. I came up with that in my list too. GoodRx.com.
Yeah.
Listen to an inspirational podcast. Do you think that 60 plus podcasts would qualify?
I hope so. I really, really do. Because, that was the whole purpose of why we started doing this, right? So is to inspire, to inform, entertain. And we certainly hope that we've done that today as well.
I think today I'm noticing how many of the things that we've already covered in the last 28 episodes
Mm-hmm.
kind of circling around and coming back
Mm.
into this whole topic of self care.
Yeah. How important it is.
It really is. Don't forget National Institutes of Mental Health.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going back to that website. Get regular exercise. We've talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Eat healthy, regular meals and stay hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I don't do enough. I don't stay hydrated well enough.
But it is part of self-care.
It
Yeah.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Make sleep a priority.
Oh, yeah.
I have no problem with
So important.
I
So
have no
important.
problem with
Well,
that.
I know a lot of people who struggle with that, that sleeping, getting through the night, waking up in the middle of the night, not being able to get back to sleep. That's a real struggle for some people. And, maybe we need to have an episode about that. But
I think that's a good idea. I do
yeah.
have a few friends that struggle with sleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. Maybe we should do a podcast episode on sleep and how
Promoting
to.
sleep.
Yeah. So, what else have we got about self care? Because it is Valentine's Day. A lot of these things are
Dark
things
chocolate.
dark chocolate.
I'm just trying to do that. Like,
You know what I had last night while I was listening to the music that I went to listen to?
yeah.
I had a piece of chocolate cake with a glass of red wine.
Oh, that is a great combination.
Isn't that? It's very
Such
surprising.
a good combination.
I have introduced a lot of people to chocolate and red wine, and
A good cab with
Before-
dark chocolate. Mm.
before they had it, they were like, "That doesn't sound like it would go well together."
Oh no, come to mama.
Really? So that's a way to indulge yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of alcohol in moderation.
Yes.
It's
yes,
an indulgence.
yes.
An indulgence.
I mean, I just came off a dry January, and by the
How'd that
way,
go?
I made it
You made it.
all 31 days.
It's 32 days. No.
31 days in
All
January.
28 days. No.
No, I made it all the way through, and I've been drinking mezcal ever since. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No,
Oh.
I actually discovered that I really don't want that much anymore. Like it's because my sleep, speaking of sleep, that's probably one of the biggest tips, right? Don't
Mhm.
drink alcohol before you go to bed. It disrupts your sleep. So sleeping has been great. And of course, when you're sleeping great, you're also dreaming more.
Should we wrap up, Janet?
We should wrap up, Joe.
All right. Thanks for being with us today. If you like what you heard, please follow us and share the 60 Plus podcast with someone in your life who might enjoy it. Thanks for listening. I'm Joe.
I'm Janet. Bye.